welcome to another episode of the Soul and Strategy podcast. My name is Sabine. I'm your host for this podcast. I'm a spiritual life coach and soul business coach. And today in this podcast episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about how can you move from vision to the actual business? So how do I actually go from the impact that I want to create in the business I want to have to actually having it? What are the steps that I should be going through? Where can you start? What's more important? What's maybe the first thing? And today I want to just lay out that roadmap that I take my clients through, that I would recommend everyone to go through. And I'll share with you also why those things are important. And yeah, so let's dive in. So if you want to start your own soul-led business, maybe you're a new coach, new counselor, a new practitioner, facilitator, whatever your title is, whatever you're doing. The way that I look at business and I teach business, let's say, is from an inside-out approach, which means that with whatever we're doing, we're always starting within. So when we think about soul and strategy, it's basically the internal and the external. The soul is the internal, the intuition, the inner knowing, the what feels right, what doesn't feel right. Also your values, the lifestyle you want to live, that's all the internal. And then we've got the external, which is the strategy, the business plan, the step-by-step, the actions, etc. So when we start a business, we always want to start with the internal, with the soul, with the why. Why do you feel called to build this business? And often it's twofold. It might be something that you have experienced and you want to help other people achieve or change or transform. And on the other side, there might be part of the business that you want to do for yourself. Maybe it is because you want to create freedom, you want to create flexibility. Maybe if you have kids, you want to be able to pick them up from school or bring them to school whenever you want. Maybe you want to travel and work from anywhere. Maybe you have family abroad like I do, and you want to have that flexibility to work from there and not having to ask anyone if you can. So the why is often split in those two parts, the impact that you want to create and then your personal reason of why you want to start a business. So I would invite you to just sit with that. You could even pause if you like, but why do you want to start that business? What's that inner calling? What's maybe something you want other people to experience and to learn and to grow? And maybe this for you is already very clear. Maybe you know exactly who you want to help and what you want to do, or maybe it's just a little bit vaguer. When I started as a spiritual life coach, for me it was to help other people step into the highest self. That was my overall mission, which is still part of my mission. It's just a very overarching, broader mission. So maybe for you, it's also very broad at this stage, and that's totally fine. But that kind of gives us the compass, the kind of direction we want to go into. So that's the first step, knowing your internal why you're starting. And then from there, we want to break it down a little bit from the overarching why into who can we help. So my case, for example, when I said I wanted to help people step into the highest self, I could help everyone and anyone do that. But we want to ideally choose a group of people or a certain type of topic and challenges that they're having to narrow it down a little bit. And that's when I kind of went into confidence coaching and I experimented with coaching people who were looking for their soulmate, people who wanted to travel, people who wanted to start their own business, and all those different things were expressions of their confidence and of their highest self. And then over time, I landed on the business coaching. So for you here, sit with and ask yourself, who are those people you want to help? What are their challenges? what are their desires? So what are they struggling with in their day-to-day, and what outcomes do they want to create? So with desire, we want to look at how do they want to feel, and what outcome and what things do they want to see in their life? What do they actually want to manifest? And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck as well, when they focus too much only on the feeling and they get very vague and very fluffy in their messaging and kind of miss the tangible aspect. Is it that they want to change jobs, or that they want to heal from an illness, or attract their soulmate, or maybe start their business as well? What is something tangible where they can also measure success that is not only related to the feeling? Because often we want to create an internal shift to see something externally change, right? So, for example, if I want to create more confidence, it's not just because I want to feel confident, but maybe because I want to be able to say no to things that don't feel aligned. If I'm invited to a birthday party and I don't want to go, or just an event and I don't feel it, I want to be able to say no without feeling guilty. That's the actual tangible or more tangible thing that I would want as a result from feeling more confident. So I hope that makes sense. But we want to find the things that they are struggling with and look at from the lens of where are they currently in their reality, in their day-to-day life. What is feeling heavy? What are the situations where they feel uncomfortable or they talk themselves down, and what kind of other outcome, other reality they want to create? So those are the two main things. And then you can also look at age and demographics and all of those things. But the main focus we want to have is on the challenges and on the desires. And then the next step from here is to create something that solves that problem. So I always see it as they're here in their current reality. They want to go to their desired outcome, to their desired life. And those two things are currently disconnected. What is building the bridge between the reality, the now, the challenges that they're experiencing, and where they want to go, that is your offer. So in my case, for example, I have a 5 months coaching offer where I help new coaches, counselors, facilitators attract their first clients, because currently they're standing where they're feeling stuck. They don't know how to actually attract their first clients. And then through the program, through my one-on-one coaching, that's where we're going to bridge the gap, where they're going to learn a lot of things, where we do a lot of mindset shifts, the inner work, to then on the other side have the business foundations and have their first paying clients. So that's my offer that is bridging the gap. So now the question to you is, what does the offer look like for you that would bridge that gap from where they currently are to where they want to be? And a good thing here is also to do some market research. Talk to the people you would like to coach, to help, to run sessions with. What are their challenges? What do they want? What kind of solutions would they pay for? What are they looking for maybe already? And that will give you valuable insights into your own package as well. So now we've got our why, we've got our target audience, we've got the package that is helping them, we've got everything set up kind of in the background. Now what we want to do is to become more visible. Because if you have something but you don't tell anyone about the offer that you have and what you actually do, you can't actually help anyone. So we need to tell people that you're open for business, that you've got something amazing that can actually help them. And there are different ways you can become visible. So one way, of course, is social media, your own platform, which can be a bit hard to build. The next thing is tapping into other people's audience. That's a little bit easier. So what that means is that other people around you, maybe if they already have a business, or even if it's, let's say, a yoga studio or a massage place or a cafe even, they already have their own followers and their own community. And you can tap into those by, for example, collaborating. It could be a collaboration post, a collaboration event, or hosting an event in their venue and they advertise it, Or maybe you pitch yourself for a podcast interview and you appear on their podcast, or you write a blog for them. So there are many different ways to tap into someone else's audience, which is probably the best and easiest way to become visible at the beginning. And then the next more advanced step is also ads, but ads just kind of fuel and accelerate what you have already built. So if you're not fully clear on your message yet, if you're not fully clear on your target audience yet, ads probably won't be the way to go. And it's not really something I recommend at the very, very, very early stage. It's more something that we want to implement once we're going live with our first conversion event or lead magnet that then can help bring people in. So now that you're becoming more visible, we then, basically what I just kind of mentioned already, we want to create a lead magnet or a freebie or conversion event, whatever you want to call it. But basically, we want to create something for them to get to know you on a deeper level. So now that you've got all these eyeballs on you, we actually want to invite them into your world. And how we're going to do that is through a free offer. That could be a free online event, or it could be a video series. It could actually also be paid. So it could be a paid in-person workshop. It could be a collaboration paid workshop or a day retreat. Whatever it is, we want to create something that is a bit smaller than the package that you have to offer, where the investment is less. So it feels a little bit less like a hurdle and less scary for them to financially commit. And in this offer, they can get to know you. And ideally, this offer then leads to your package, right? We don't want to have different offers disconnected from the main package. Everything that we're building, all roads always lead to your main offer, to your main package. So that's the idea here. So what is one single problem, challenge, or desire that they have that you could extract and create something small around it? So for example, in my case, a lot of people that I work with, they want to run or have run in-person workshops. So I created a free guide on how to actually sell out your in-person workshops. And I've had lots and lots of people download this guide, which means that lots and lots of people have come into my newsletter and to become email subscribers. So that was a great way for me, because I knew that a lot of people want to host the in-person workshops. I actually had posted something on Instagram, and that posted really, really well, which is where my idea from creating a freebie came from. So that's another thing you can look at, that if you post on Instagram regularly, have a look at which posts are performing well, and maybe from there you could even create that freebie based on that post. In my case, it was a carousel post. So I've just taken those slides, put them into a PDF guide, added a bit more additional information, obviously made it a bit more meaty, a bit more, more substance to it. And that was it. So yes, I invite you to really think about creating something that can build connections. So sometimes PDF guides can be a good way to get people in, less so to build deep connections. So I would more so recommend some type of in-person energy, either if it's an in-person event or recorded series. And then you can always stack on top those PDFs that get a lot of people in, but build a little bit less trust, I would say. And we can always have a mix out of all of them, but step by step. So from there, we want to now bring the people that have come to your event into your package. How are we going to do that? One way is to invite them for example, a free call. And that free call, we don't just want to say free session or free discovery call or free get to know me call or whatever they are called. We want to create a one-on-one call that actually adds value. It's kind of almost like its own little product by itself that you could pitch other people to, or you could invite other people in. So, for example, when I was working as a confidence coach, for me it was my quiet confidence breakthrough session. Basically, we were looking at where they're currently at in their life with their confidence journey. Where do they want to be, and what needs to happen between where they are now, where they want to be, and what are the steps basically they need to focus on. So that was my 30-minute free value. I call it value call because it's a call where we get to know each other, and I do in the end invite people into my package, but that's not the focus. The focus is on understanding where they're at, understanding where they want to be, and really seeing where's the gap. What can I actually offer them and give them value so that even if they decide not to go for the package, they actually leave with a really good feeling. They leave with some really tangible, valuable insights that they can implement, and they could even do this themselves. For example, like this episode right now, I'm giving you the roadmap. You could go ahead now and just implement it for yourself without any further guidance. Or you decide to opt in for more support. So there are always two options here. And actually, I'm going to talk about, I think in my next episode, about selling, because I see a lot of people struggling with kind of making that invitation, making that offer to someone to come into their program. So have a look out for the next episode if that's you. Yes, but coming back to where we're at. So we've got our mission, our why, our target audience, our package. We're now becoming more visible. We've got an offer that once we are visible, people can dive into and get to know us better. And then from there, we have the value call to then lead them into the package. So that's pretty much the entire pathway, the entire roadmap that I would go through, that I am taking my clients through, and I have taken past clients through as well. And yeah, as I said, you can just take this. I hope you took some notes as well, or listen to the episode again, implement this in your business. Let me know how you go. And of course, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or you can also write a comment under this post, or under this, not post, under this podcast episode. And if you're interested in implementing this roadmap to your business, you can, of course, join me for my 5 months one-on-one coaching package. And if you're not quite sure if that's the right thing for you, or if you just want to ask a little bit more questions and see how this applies to you, if this would be the right fit, I offer free 30-minute soul business startup sessions. So in this session, we would then look at where you're currently with your business, where do you want to be, what do I think you need to implement and you need to do as the first step. So we can look at where, for example, you are currently in the roadmap, where you're getting stuck, and I can give you some advice of what I would do, and also what, of course, we could do together if you would be interested in working together. But either way, I hope that this episode really helped you, that you got a little bit clearer on where you are in that journey and what's kind of the next step for you. Maybe it is that visibility piece, or maybe it is that piece of creating your lead magnet, or maybe you need to go a little bit further back and reflect back on your target audience and if what you're creating or the package that you've created is actually landing, or maybe even doing your market research. So there are lots and lots of different pieces. And yeah, I so hope that this episode was really valuable for you. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were. And if you're enjoying this episode, enjoying this podcast, leave me a follow. And yeah, rate the podcast, share it with your friends, share it with anyone who could benefit from it. And then I'm looking forward to seeing you in the very next episode. Until then, bye bye.